Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamerspro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So yesterday, the news broke that Team USA was going to be replacing Kawhi Leonard, right? And they put out a public statement. This morning, I heard from Grant Hill where he basically said that he's not going to disclose too much information, but it was a decision that was in the best interest for Team USA and the Clippers as well. So Kawhi Leonard was promptly replaced. And then shortly after that, after we actually did a live on it, shortly after that, we were then speculating on who would be the player that they would replace Kawhi Leonard with. Some people were saying Derek White, but then we started to ponder on players like Jaylen Brown. You know, Jaylen Brown, the Eastern Conference MVP, the Finals MVP, that guy. We were like, okay, why don't they replace him with him? He's an American. He should be, he's a perfect fit. If you had to look at him versus Jaylen White, Jaylen White is a fantastic 3-and-D player, smart guy, but Jaylen Brown is the Finals MVP for God's sakes, and some people are arguing he's even better than his teammate, Jason Tatum. So one would have thought that it would have been a no-brainer for Team USA to replace Kawhi Leonard with Jaylen Brown. But what ended up happening was they ended up not doing that and going in the direction of Derek White, a move that a lot of people thought was a smart one, but it left some of us out here wondering, like, well, wait a minute, but what about Jaylen Brown? And it seems like Jaylen Brown himself was confused by Team USA's decision, and he decided to actually take to Twitter to voice his confusion. And we want to quickly show you what he posted. He posted two things. He put like a thinking emoji, like what's going on here, and then he put another one where he actually added Nike, and he said, at Nike, this is what we doing. Well, after he put out that information, after he put out that tweet, Stephen A. Smith, who recently came under some fire for some of his controversial comments on Jaylen Brown on ESPN First Take, actually decided to chime in and leave his 2 cents on Jaylen Brown being left off of Team USA. So let's get into Stephen A. Smith's tweet. He put up yesterday, 17 hours ago. He wrote, "Do y'all believe me now? Yo," I'm assuming this is Jaylen Brown. "Yo, Jaylen Brown, do I need to reveal my sources now? Is it obvious now? How in the hell is a $300 million man, now a champion and an NBA Finals MVP, who's clearly a top two-way player on the Celtics and a top 15 player in the world, not chosen for Team USA because his teammate, not named Tatum, is selected before him? Come on, y'all." So that was Stephen A. Smith's tweet there, and some people responded to it. Some people say, we asked you to reveal your sources. Another person said, don't tweet him. Stephen A. Smith said, one person said Stephen A. Smith rage baiting once again, and all of those different things, right? What are my thoughts on this? If I go back to Stephen A. Smith's tweet, and the first line, it says, "Do y'all believe me now? Yo, Jaylen Brown, do I need to reveal my sources now? Is it obvious now?" Something about that seems a bit disingenuous to me. Something about that first part doesn't seem sincere to me. It doesn't seem sincere, because reading this tweet, I don't really understand who Stephen A. Smith's, whose side he's on with these tweets. Is he going at Team USA and the committee for not selecting Jaylen Brown? Or is he basically using this as a gotcha moment to say, okay, you thought I was lying, then check this out now, right? If he was truly on the side of Jaylen Brown, in my personal view, I think he would have just started off the thing saying, how in the hell is a $300 million man now a champion? Like, I think that would have been more appropriate than what he said before. To me, how it came off to me is it came off to me as one of those tricks that Stephen A. Smith usually does, which is, before he's about to trash you, he says a nice thing about you. In this case, he did it in a reverse. He trashed him in a way, in my personal view, and then said something nice about him, right? Stephen A. Smith is one person to give you a hug and then slap you in the back of the head when you're not looking, or that's just the way it came. His comments didn't seem sincere to me, right? It didn't seem sincere. It looked like it looked like a moment where he saw an opportunity to basically throw it in Jaylen Brown's face. Like, look, I was right. You were out here questioning my sources. Now you believe me. And I don't think that Jaylen Brown, if you read those comments, I don't think that he would have felt like, oh, this guy's coming to my defense. As a matter of fact, I feel like he would probably view his comments, oh, like, so now you're trying to throw it in my face that they didn't pick me. Why didn't they decide to pick Jaylen Brown? Well, there are multiple theories. Some people have speculated, and I've even heard NBA players say this, especially on Gil's Arena, that Jaylen Brown doesn't fit a particular mold. Some people say, believe it or not, that he's too smart to even be marketed to certain people. This is what I've heard, that the guy is too intelligent. Apparently, he even negotiates his own contracts. He's his own agent, which is extremely impressive, if I'm honest with you. And maybe for whatever reason that turns some people off. We've also heard some people say it's because of some of his political stances. I don't really know what all of Jaylen Brown's political stances are. I do know he is politically inclined, but I don't know all of his stances because I don't follow it that closely. But to me, it definitely doesn't look right to me. It really doesn't, right? Let me just check and see. Is Jaylen Brown a sponsored athlete? Let me see. Is Jaylen Brown signed to Nike? Let me see. I don't believe he is, right? I don't believe that he is. It's not really saying who he signed to, but it is a poor reflection on the committee to not pick one of the highest paid players in the history of the NBA and the Finals MVP. Think about that. Team USA decided not to bring on the Finals MVP in the NBA. That reeks of some type of foul play. That doesn't seem normal to me. That seems like there may have been some other things behind closed doors that may have influenced them not taking that decision. There's no argument to not have Jaylen Brown on that team. If Jaylen Brown can't be on that team, Devin Booker can't be on that team. Anthony Edwards can't be on that team. Jason Tatum can't even be on that team, if I'm being honest with you. So it is what it is. Stephen A. Smith's comments to me just came off as being a little bit insincere. As you guys know, Bronny James went out there and played another game. I think yesterday he attempted only 3 field goals and he only scored 3 points. It was another bad outing, right? But the way he's being marketed or promoted, you would think that he's the best player in the world, or at least the best player in the draft, right? He is getting that level of attention in Summer League. And it's causing a lot of people to question why that is. For a player that's the 55th pick, why is he garnering so much attention? Yesterday, we put up a post on our channel, and there are a lot of people that have been kind of misinterpreting our position here at Dreamerspro on Bronny James. I think these are LeBron fans who are being willfully ignorant to the obvious points that we're trying to make. Here's what I posted yesterday on our channel. I said, the people that deserve the blame for the Bronny scrutiny are LeBron James when he opened his big mouth and said he's better than NBA players, and the media for constantly promoting a player that is not good. Those are the ones to blame. LeBron's big mouth and the media. And for what? For effing narratives. Great job. I want to expand on my position here and really get into the nitty-gritty of what I personally believe is going on here and why I believe that the biggest loser in all of this is Bronny James. Let me explain why we're here. Because some people have been asking the question, why are we talking about Bronny James? Why are we spending so much time discussing Bronny James? The answer is very simple. It's a simple one. But you have certain people out there that are playing the willfully ignorant game. They want to act like they don't understand what's going on here. And some people are trying to take this conversation into various directions. Some people are trying to take it to the race card. Some people are trying to take it to the parenting card, or you don't support black parents. All kind of nonsense. Here are the facts. These are the facts. Before Bronny was drafted into the NBA, before he came into the NBA, before he was picked up by the Lakers, however you want to view it, LeBron on multiple occasions, LeBron James, his father, on multiple occasions, publicly stated that Bronny James could play in the NBA right now. He also stated that Bronny James was better than some NBA players. And I think he also said he could play on the Lakers right now, which is insanely disrespectful to the players that are on the roster, that were on the Lakers roster. So LeBron, who's the face of the NBA, is going out there waving his pom-pom saying, Bronny James is a fantastic player. He's good enough to be an NBA player. So the media then says, well, damn, LeBron is saying that this guy is going to be good enough to be an NBA player. So LeBron must be onto something. LeBron must see something. And therefore, that must mean Bronny James is going to be good. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about him. 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 Because number one, LeBron says so. Number two, is going to make money. Then the Lakers then decide to say, you know what? And Rob Pelinka, the general manager, already admitted this, that, you know what? We're going to draft Bronny because we want to be the organization that goes out there and makes history. We want to be the organization that says we're the first team to have a father and son duo, where the Lakers basically exposed that the only reason that they drafted Bronny was basically for storylines and clicks. Now, for those of you who don't believe me and feel like the Lakers drafted him for some other reason, maybe because of his talent, we want to play exactly what Rob Pelinka had to say about why the Lakers drafted Bronny right now, and then we're going to continue on. Take a listen to that there.
You know, I think about the Los Angeles Lakers. I think about, a franchise where basketball history just sort of unfolds and takes place. I mean, if you think back to the origins of the game of basketball and Dr. Naismith and Peach Basket and all that's emanated from the invention of the game, and you think that in the history of the NBA, there's never been a father and a son that have shared an NBA basketball court. And that feels like something that could be magical. And we know and have to respect, of course, that LeBron has a decision about his opt-out. And I'm sure he and his family and his agent will deliberate what they're going to do there. And of course, he has freedom to decide whatever's best for him and his family. But if it worked out that he was on our team next season, NBA history could be made, and NBA history should be made in a Lakers uniform. So that's just sort of globally how we feel about the draft moment, but more important than that is to talk about Bronny James as a basketball player, because this is his day, and he was the one selected with the 55th pick. Bronny is first and foremost a person of high character. And second, he is a young man that works incredibly hard. And those are the qualities we look for in drafting players and adding to our developmental core at the Lakers. He had a great draft workout with us where he displayed those qualities to me in an hour lunch that we shared in the building.
So you just heard General Manager Rob Pelinka state that. But it doesn't stop there. Then after he came out there and made those comments, JJ Redick took it upon himself in a Lakers press conference when Bronny was being introduced, when nobody asked him to, and he said, I just want you guys to know that Bronny James earned this spot. He definitely earned this spot. And then something else happened. We got a report from ESPN that revealed the real intentions behind the Lakers in terms of what they plan to do with Bronny by drafting him. For those of you who didn't hear what the Lakers' actual plans are for Bronny, take a listen to this here.
NBA eyes will be on that game. And for more on the Lakers, we welcome in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. So what are people saying about the realistic expectations for Bronny?
Well, what the Lakers' expectations are is that he'll largely be a G League player, like almost any 19-year-old player coming in the league drafted in the second round. I think what you'll ultimately probably see is Bronny James in the first week of the season on the court with his father in a very, I don't want to call it ceremonial, but it's going to, the eyes of the world will be on that. They'll do that the first week of the season, but there's no expectation Bronny James is going to be in the Lakers rotation. He'll spend a lot of his time playing with their G League team, which shares a practice facility with the Lakers.
Okay, so maybe get the father-son moment out of the way, and then it's on to development. So his father, meanwhile, that's what now we talk about. He opted out of his contract. He's expected to stay a Laker. What do we think his new deal is going to look like?
It's very likely going to look like a max deal, whether that's 2 years, 3 years, whether it has trade veto power in it is still something they're working out. But if LeBron James talked about perhaps taking less money if this Laker team would be able to land a player of impact at their mid-level exception. But he was going to have to take at least $20 million less to do that. I don't anticipate that. That kind of player simply isn't out in the marketplace for the Lakers.
Yeah, and could you imagine even taking $20 million on a contract? I know people say, oh, it's LeBron, why not? But look, nobody wants to do that. So what else do you expect from the Lakers, or what do you expect them to do this offseason?
I think a lot of their moves and what's left are going to be minimum contracts, are going to be some moves on the edges, but there's not a dramatic deal for the Lakers to do out in the marketplace.
So you heard that there. Their plan is to bring Bronny on the roster, have him play about for a week or so, then they're going to have the father and son moment, and then they're going to send him back to the G League. So basically, they're using Bronny James as a prop. LeBron is using him as a prop. The media are using him for views. And people are out there confused as to, well, we never spoke about another 55th pick, so why are we talking about him now? Because they keep promoting him. I was just listening to a segment on Undisputed with Keyshawn Johnson and Skip Bayless basically twerking it up all over the table, knocking over each other's drinks. They almost knocked over Paul Pierce trying to reach for those a jar of honey to rub it on each other. Talking about, well, I can see. Skip Bayless even said, you know what? Bronny James is not a good summer league player. He's not meant for the summer league. Do you know where Bronny's meant? He's meant for the NBA. And summer league won't really show you just how good of a player he is. He needs to be on What kind of sense does that make to you? What kind of sense does that make? If you take NBA level players and you put them in the summer league, they're going to destroy the league. They're going to destroy. But what they're saying is the summer league, it doesn't really fit Bronny's skill set. You need to put him in an NBA setting where they're just up there dancing around the issue and trying to legitimize it so they'll have a reason to discuss it every day. And my point is, the loser in all of this is Bronny James. He's the loser. I've discussed this very thing with Gilbert Arenas just this morning. This afternoon, morning, however you want to view it. And I said to him, this is unfair to Bronny. I said his father and the media are the one that are bringing this attention on him. And he's the one that's going to lose out on all of it. And I don't even think Gilbert Arenas deserves he should be drafted. I don't even think he believes it. But nevertheless, we're going to come out here and act like as if it's something serious. We discussed this, and there's some people out there trying to go along, trying to take it down the racial angle. Oh, why aren't you happy to see black nepotism? I mean, white folks do it. What this got to do with white folks? What this got to do with white folks? Is it a tit for tat? So white people go around using weapons on people and taking them off the earth. We got to do it too. Well, white folks did it. Is that how you live your life? If white folks do that, we got to do it. Is that how you conduct your life? You think I sit up here and try to mirror what white people do? Is that how you view your life? Like, okay, well, the white people did that, so it's our turn to do it. Why? Why are you trying to follow what white people are doing? Why don't you do what's right for you? Forget about what white people are doing. Why are we trying to mirror the behavior of whites? Why? And that speaks to an inferiority complex that exists in some people that feel like as if they got a mirror and over. White people, who cares? I'm not sitting up here thinking about, what this white guy did, I don't care. It's called having self-confidence. I don't care what the white people, let them do what the hell they want to do. It's them. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't live my life, white people did this and they got away with this, so we got to do this too to get. Why? Especially if in this case it's unfair. Well, white people do it and they got away with it, so I know it's unfair then, so we got to do it too, so we can get away with it, so all of us can be. What are we doing? So where's the moral ground in all of this? There's no moral ground. You have people out there, and I've asked people, hey, so if you're a black father and you have a position, you have an opportunity to put your kid in a position that you know that they cannot excel in, you know that they're not qualified to be there, would you still do it? You know what some people are saying, oh, y'all would do it. So you would put your child in a position that you know they're not qualified to be in, so that when they go out there, they're going to fail on their own. And you're doing who a favor? Who? To me, listen, I think the biggest loser in all of this is Bronny James. He's the biggest loser. I think the biggest beneficiaries of all of this are LeBron James and the media and the Lakers. And I think Bronny James is just being used as a prop, period. People are asking us, oh, why don't we stop talking about it? Why don't they stop talking about it? The people asking us, why are we talking about this? They are upset that we're giving them a different viewpoint. What they want is all of us to sit up here every single day, twerk it up all over the screen, knock over each other's, just basically run up and down the hallway, screaming and hollering, disturbing the peace, running through the woods with our torches, just basically acting a damn. That's what they want. Slapping each other with honey. That's what they want. They don't want another view. They don't want somebody to say, but wait a minute, that was a bad performance. They don't want that. What they want is people on TV twerking it up all day long, saying what they want to hear. That's all they want. No. The reason the answer is no is because we went at all the other players that came into the NBA, didn't we? So why should Bronny be different? When it came time for other number one draft picks, let's look at Kwame Brown. I didn't hear none of you people running around talking about when they were trashing Kwame Brown for all of those years. He was an 18, 19-year-old out of high school. And they were trashing. And Kwame had nowhere near the resources or connections that Bronny James had. And people were trashing Kwame Brown. Oh, he can't play. Yeah. As a matter of fact, y'all were hyping up people like Stephen A. Smith who were doing it. So what happened to protecting the black kid? Let's figure it out. If you people were so concerned with protecting black kids, where were you? Bunch of hypocrites. I said it in the other show, and I'm going to say it again. What people are protecting here is elitist. It's elitist. It's an elitist mindset. You have sheep running around protecting the elite. It is okay to talk about every single player except Bronny. He's off limits. Why? Because he's LeBron's son. Don't you know he's special? Don't you know his father's a billionaire? Lay off of him. But everybody else, let's talk about all of them. Let's talk about why this player is trash. Let's talk about why that player is trash. Let's talk about this guy. Let's talk about that guy. Bronny will be in his 20s and people will be saying the same thing. Why are we talking about Bronny James for? Why are we targeting him? Why are we targeting this guy? Meanwhile, we go at every other player in the NBA. We go at every other player. People are up here trying to defend elites, which they will never be. This is how far we have fallen as a society. You have people defending unfairness. And they're promoting it. They're like, well, they were unfair. It's my time to be unfair too. So what makes you any better than them? And they didn't want to get upset with me. Oh, why are you mentioning this? Why are you mentioning that? You're only talking about him because he's LeBron James' son. And that's the reason. Now I'm telling you the damn truth, and I'm giving you my honest opinion on this. That's what I'm telling you right now. Some of y'all have an inferiority complex. Some of y'all look at these people as gods. That's the freaking truth. And right now, somebody's talking about you're one of your gods. That's what's happening right, and y'all are defending him. And you guys are defending unfairness. And what gets me is that you guys are defending something that if it worked against you, you would never defend it. But in this case, you are. We talk about all the other NBA players. When it comes to Bronny, we can't even talk about him. We can't even talk about him. We can't even talk about him. You know Kobe Bryant? You know Kobe Bryant, one of the 3 greatest players of all time? Do you know Kobe Bryant? His first what is it? How many games? 150 plus games. You know Kobe never started, right? You know Kobe came off the bench, right? Kobe Bryant came off the bench. Kobe came off the bench. He had to go through the process of actually earning his way on the court. No, Bronny just skipped the line. Just skipped the line. And y'all are like, yeah, man, go for it. Black power. No, y'all pushing elites. You guys love elites. That's all this is about. It's about a bunch of fanboys defending their king. That is all I see here. That's all I view you people as.